The Orlando Magic had the perfect opportunity this offseason to build their squad into a perennial contender in the Eastern Conference. However, I don't think they did the most fantastic job of that in the world. They do have Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. That is a very fun young duo that I think is going to continue to grow and develop together, and that's going to be a good duo in Orlando for the next 10 years at least. They go out and spend the number 6 overall pick in the draft on Anthony Black, then spend 11 on Jett and sign Joe Ingles to a 2-year, $22 million contract. And again, I think they could have made some better moves than that, but we're going to be talking about all of it, looking at the upside, because as a Charlotte Hornets fan, you got to start looking at the upside sooner rather than later. So that's what we're going to be doing here today for the Orlando Magic. Before we get started, though, make sure to like button if you do enjoy today's video at any point. Also, leave me a comment down below, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy today's video at any point, because about 97% of my audience is not subscribed to the channel, and we need to fix that a little bit. It's not cool. So yeah, just go hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. This is the place to be for the NBA offseason. Now let's go ahead and get started looking at the draft. Like I said, I was not the biggest fan of what the Magic did in the draft, but let's look at the good. Anthony Black, 6'7" point guard out of Arkansas, averaged about 13 points per game last year, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, very good in the pick and roll. He has good vision, even though he only averaged 4 assists. That's a decent amount for college basketball, especially for a freshman. Also averaged 2.1 steals, so a good defender. 45% from the field is good, 30% from 3 is not. That is something that he really needs to work on if he wants to be a starter in the NBA. But like I said, 6'7", great frame, great length, athleticism, everything you need to be a big-time point guard in the NBA. He's got it. So if he can develop that jump shot a little bit more, I think we're looking at a future potential star, which is what the Magic kind of took a page out of Oklahoma City's book and took the best overall athlete there at number 6. Then they get Jett. People were hating on this pick, a guy who averaged 14, about 2-2 at Michigan, 42% from the field, not great, but 37% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. The Magic needed shooting coming into this draft. The best shooter on the board, Grady Dick, was staring him in the face, but Jett definitely has a little bit more upside. People were hating on the field goal percentage. Hey, he takes 7.3 3-point shots a game. That's over half of the shots he takes are threes. That's bringing his field goal percentage down quite a bit, but they're not exactly easy three-pointers. He's making NBA-type threes. This one from a solid 10 feet behind the line, it looks like. Dead on from the logo. Here's another one. This was a tough shot. Or no, not this one, but still sliding to his left, fading away. And then this one off the dribble. I mean, this was just tough. Right in front of, who is that? McCaffrey, I believe is his name. For Iowa, could be wrong though. And then here, little cross, step back over a 6'10" guy, fading away into his bench. So those are not easy shots for sure. He's a guy that he has a lot of potential, and that's for sure, to develop. Now, maybe not the best win-now player, but they go out and they get Joe Ingles, 2 years, $22 million. Like I said, one of the biggest needs for the Magic this offseason was they needed more shooters. And, I mean, no question about it. Joe Ingles, he can shoot it. Jingling Joe, even though he's 35. Put up 7 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 3.3 assists in a limited role last year for the Milwaukee Bucks. Kind of thought, he'd play a little bit bigger of a role, but 45% from the field, 41% from the three-point line, 87% from the free throw line. Marksman right there. 35 years old, though, like I said, so he's going to be making $11 million at age 37. A bit interesting, but, they don't really have anybody that's taking up large chunks of the cap sheet right now, and you got to spend 90% of your salary cap per the new CBA rules. Now, let's look at who the odd man out here is in the point guard rotation. Like I said, they just drafted Anthony Black. Markelle Fultz is like an older version of Anthony Black, 14 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists. But you're talking about a guy that's a somewhat big body point guard that can't really shoot the three ball but can dish it out. 51% from the field, 31% from 3, 1.5 steals per game, so good on defense as well. I think Markelle's going to be the starting point guard, and I think Cole Anthony's actually going to be the odd man out here. 13 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 3.9 assists. He was good last year as like a six-man type role, so maybe they keep him there, move him to like the shooting guard spot off the bench. That's really the only situation where I see him still having a good role in this team next year. 45% from the field, 36% from 3, 26 minutes a night. And then Jalen Suggs actually think he's going to be the starting shooting guard next year, even though he can't really shoot. 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, but he's just such a good defender. You're talking about a guy that could potentially be an All-NBA type defender. 42% from the field, 33% from 3. So like I said, the shooting splits are not it, but 1.5 steals per game, that is nice. And as I talked about earlier, they've got one of the best under 22-year-old duo in the NBA with Franz Wagner at 21 and Paolo Banchero at 20. Franz averaged 18.6 points per game as well as 4.1 rebounds per game last year, in what was a very good season for him. Great sophomore season, 49% from the field, 36% from 3, so he was efficient. He scored 19 a game, 4 rebounds, doing his part there. So overall, Franz, I'm expecting him to have a big-time year this year. I kind of thought he was a Gordon Hayward clone coming out of Michigan, and hey, he's going to be even better than Gordon Hayward. The Magic are kind of turning into Michigan with Franz Wagner, Jett Howard, Caleb Houston, all the Michigan boys. But the Blue Devil, Paolo Banchero, averaging 20.7 rebounds last year as a rookie, good enough to win him Rookie of the Year honors. So very nice there from Paolo. 43% from the field, 30% from 3. And then, he's playing his part as well in the 33 minutes a game that he got, or 34 minutes, 0.8 steals. Still a guy that doesn't really show too much interest in playing defense, but on down the line, he projects at 6'10", he projects to be a two-way type of guy. Now, let's take a look at the lineup. As I mentioned, I think that the starting backcourt is going to be Markelle Fultz and Jalen Suggs. Markelle Fultz, not a lot of shooting there. Markelle Fultz can't really shoot a 3-ball. Neither can Jalen Suggs, which is why I thought they were going to go Grady Dick at number 6 or at number 11. Either one, he would have come in and been your starting shooting guard. But oh well. Suggs is going to be there locking up. Same thing with Markelle Fultz. I guess Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, that's where they're betting on the majority of their scoring coming from that 3-4 punch of Franz and Paolo. And hey, that's not a bad bet to hedge because those two guys, they can play. As we just mentioned, the best under 22 duo in the NBA, in my opinion, unless there's somebody I'm forgetting. If there is, comment down below who can rival them. And then at the center spot, they've got Wendell Carter Jr. So, like I said, not a lot of shooting here, but this is a good young lineup. Taking a look at the bench, this is where your shooting comes from. If you want to slide Joe Ingles in at the starting 2, I can see that. Also, if you want to slide Cole Anthony at the backup 2, I can see that for sure. But in terms of the long-term game, your backup 1 and 2 is going to be Anthony Black and Jett Howard. Anthony Black, I feel like, can develop into a very nice point guard down the line. And then Jett Howard, I think he's really going to surprise some people. He's going to be a guy that, if he pans out, he's 6'7", and he can hit some really, really tough shots. Like I said, double-edged sword there. He takes dumb shots, but still, being able to knock down tough shots at times, those are backbreakers. And then you got Jonathan Isaac, a guy that a lot of people forget about because he's always hurt. But when healthy, this guy is one of the best defenders in the NBA. He can knock down the 3-ball. He can score it a little bit. And then Mo Wagner, who they just re-signed as well off the bench, Franz's brother. I think this is a good team. However, there's definitely a different way I would have went about this offseason. I don't know if they're in line for that play and push anymore. Oh, and by the way, right before I finished editing this video, they cut Bobo for whatever reason. Hopefully he gets another chance because I feel like he's a guy that can flourish in the right system. He was for a little bit this year for the Magic, but then, he didn't play as well for the rest of the year. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Magic. Are they a playoff team next year or a play-in team? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy today's video at any point, and hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and it helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.